My opening range breakout algorithm lost $415 over the last 4 weeks. And in this video, I will be sharing with you exactly how I trade and track every trade that is being taken by the portfolio of trading strategies that are currently being running live on Real Capital. So, a quick disclaimer. All of this is not financial advice. Trading involves substantial risk of loss, and past performance does not predict future results. I think that's enough, so let's get that out of the way. And let's just go over the trading strategies that are currently being deployed on this account. So here you could see we have our Trade Pilot Portfolio Manager, where we're running 3 different trading algorithms that we have tested and now are running on live capital. So we have our Mag 7 momentum strategy, which basically tracks moving averages, sees how it is respecting those moving averages, and it identifies a failure throughout the day of a respected moving averages and a reclaim before the close, and it buys on the close. The 52-week high strategy is a simple strategy looking to catch a momentum burst of a stock that is breaking out to a new 52-week high on strong volume. And the orb trailing stop strategy is an opening range breakout, which is trading on the S&P futures, where we are tracking the first 15 minutes. We are placing an order and a stop loss based on the opening range, and we have a trailer throughout the day. And all of these strategies have been back tested, and we have eliminated survivorship bias. I will say the Mag 7, because we are focusing only on the Mag 7, because we are bullish on the US equity space as a whole, or I would say the overall S&P is concentrated in the Mag 7, and we have a belief that the S&P is a performer over the long term. We want to be able to pick those out. So apart from the Mag 7, the 52-week high and the orb strategy are eliminated of survivorship bias because we are doing time in point testing or point in time testing, meaning when we look back at our back test, we are looking at what is the universe of stocks that are available today to run this back test on, and we test it during those days. So let's go down and take a look at some of our performance. So this is really only the last approximately 4 weeks of testing, and as you can see, we have been increasing our actual allocation towards the strategy as live execution has been confirming how the strategies are supposed to trade and the back tested trades. So I will share this spreadsheet down below, but let's go ahead and maybe let's pull up some of our strongest winners and our biggest losers. So WDC, well, I guess we could say we have 3 strategies. And the first thing is the S&P over the last 4 weeks has failed to perform. And maybe let's just take a look at that. As you can see, we have had some sideways action over the last 4 weeks. But once the markets do start to rally, I was running this algorithm, just not tracking it so diligently during this entire run-up, and it performed incredibly well with very little size. So as a whole, the back test holds up from my anecdotal experience, but now that we are tracking it, let's see if we can consolidate here, and the S&P can basically hold these highs. Anything above 700 from a technical level shows that we are continuing to go higher, and each level is holding. So if we can get tight here and start to break out, if prices expand above 760s, I do expect the orb strategy to perform once again. And if not, we might have some chop, and that's fine because we are trading this over years and as long as possible, really, so long that the actual strategy is in line with our back test. So WDC was a very nice winner. Let's go over the entry date and see what happened. So we bought this at on June 15th, which looks to be right here on the close, right? New high, stronger volume, and we rode it up. And we didn't just take this trade one day, we took it 3 days or 3 separate times in that run up, right? So we're getting 12% of the move, and then we have our trailing stop, we stop out and we leave it alone. Some of our losers, let's take a look at AMAT, which was on June 29th. So that makes sense here. We bought here on the 29th. Next day it ran. Maybe we got stopped out pre-market, but at the end of the day, our stop didn't follow and we got stopped out below our entry point, which was a 3.5% loss. So that's just how the 52-week strategy plays out. Markets are bullish, so it's nice to see some of these tickers get picked up and kind of, even on a down day when the broader markets are down, there will still be some patterns which shows some relative strength. And if there is recovery in the broader markets the next day, then there can be some greater follow through because you're buying relative strength on a weaker market, right? So let's go to the next big winner, Peng. We bought here just after earnings and we sold into this push, right? So I do have screenshots on our Discord. I could pull these up here. I like to track it, and I'll put a link as well below. There is a free Discord where we track the trades, I share my thoughts, and yeah, so perfect. As you could see here, I don't have the actual entry screenshot because these don't stay in Interactive Brokers, but essentially I'm sure we bought, let's see, and these are all broker statements as well, by the way. So we bought at 78.47, right? And we sold at around 86 bucks. So 78 to 86. So that shows you some, I guess, visual on the chart as to how these trades are played. And we're basically just looking for these pops in and out within an average holding period on these on the 52-week strategy is 4 days. So that's historical. Let's keep an eye on that to see if that's in line with our live testing. But as a total, so right now we're deploying 30K on this testing for the algo. Obviously the plan is to bring this up in size. And as of now, we have a 40% win rate on the orb strategy. We're still taking some losses. That's totally fine because this is a leverage strategy as we're playing futures. And then we have our 52-week high, which has performed nicely, and we'll just keep an eye on that. The Meg 7 has been a little slow. It's been choppy on the side, but I'm sure we'll pick up some trades. And overall, a return on our total allocation, we're basically flat on the month. So as you could see, we are running this live, we are running this daily. There may be some days, for whatever reason, we don't actually run the strategy, and that's just due to technical difficulties. But as of now, this is the progress, and this is where we will be going. And if you are interested in seeing how these work, please subscribe and watch our next videos.